Hello and welcome to this update from the BSGA management team. There's been a lot of change. It's been an exciting year, but we'd like to start with an announcement, and that is that David Allen will be continuing as our president for the next couple of years. David, do you want to tell us a little bit why you've made this decision to continue?
Well, it wasn't so much me making it in solo. We did discuss it all between us. I think we all felt that we were at the beginning of a project and that to change now perhaps would probably mean we wouldn't see the project through to the end. And we've had quite a lot of instability since obviously COVID and change of the top team. So I think because we have seen some traction, it was felt that it was best to try and keep the main team in place, me being one of them. Which I'm happy to do. I see that there is a big project in really making the BSGA focused and actually being properly representative of the industry and supporting the industry, not just there to tell it what it's doing wrong, but to actually get the message out there to the wider audience, to our stakeholders, if you like. As I say, happy to carry on for the next 2 years. I'm hoping we've got a little bit of a plan in place. So we should see some real big changes in the next couple of years.
And for me, I stepped into a role because we had somebody stepping away. As David pointed out, we had COVID, so we lost our former MD. I came in, I felt with stability, and I was lucky enough to have the support around me at the time with them, Sam Armstrong, and then David stepping into the role after Sam. David's foresight and actually his knowledge within the industry has been completely invaluable. And the fact is that someone with Linda's background has kind of come into the MD role, and with the support that David has given with the knowledge, it's just that the team just seems to have really dovetailed in well together. And I think from my own perspective, stepping away at this key moment as we take the thing forward and we're starting to see some things coming to fruition would be a retrogressive step. So for me, I've been genuinely excited about what's actually happening. And again, with Linda stepping into the role and bringing that dynamism into the position. So I think with her and David within the role, I just see great things happening as we move forward.
That's great. I think you've got a nice combination here. You say with yourself as the chair, you've got David as president, Linda has come in as managing director, and it's been a year now, so there's been a lot going. Now, David, you mentioned you want to see the project through, that there's a plan. So I thought maybe we could build on that a bit, or maybe someone could tell us a bit about what the project and the plan is.
So from this point onwards, I think we've realised that we've lost a lot of ground, and that maybe some of the members, whilst they retain their membership, we need to be doing something to show there's value there. So we get asked about training and things like this. So we're at the early stages of a potential plan for a training scheme that would be implemented. That then dovetails quite nicely into the discussions we're having in regard to CSCS. So there's a whole group of things that we've got involved with to hopefully deliver some clarity to the CSCS situation. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy, but that's definitely something that is quite high in the timeline of things that we're going to do. So that's the training and education side. We're also looking at strengthening all of our technical documentations. With our chair of the technical committee, he's got quite a long list of things that we're now looking to update the guidance on. So again, it becomes we want to become a knowledge base for the industry that they can tap into, a reason to be a member. So that's something that's started. We're making good progress on that. It changes. The landscape that we're operating in changes. So that's having to adapt and change as we need it to. So that's another part of what we're working on. And then it's also reaching out beyond the industry to the people that buy signage, to educate the value of having good signage and using a well-trained and educated company to do their work for them and not just anybody. And so they actually appreciate the value of the signage. So it becomes less of a commodity rather than, a valuable asset to a business. So that's something that's a little way off, but that's in the background there, something that I'm quite mindful that we need to do, because I often feel that in certain sectors they don't value signage particularly. It's just something you've got to do. You've got to buy it. It's the last minute thing, cheap as you can get it. So what we need to do is support the industry to the outside world to show that, our members are properly trained. They have the right skill sets and knowledge. They have the contacts to be able to deliver really good signage that has a value and adds value to people's businesses. So that's the third element. Linda will be able to sort of share a little bit more details on the training, because that is a massive task that we've got there to do, and we know we need to do it. So a lot of work involved. I'll be looking out and about for, I say volunteers, but people that I think can help us deliver that. So that's on my things to do list immediately, is to try and get some more people involved. So if any of them are watching it, watch out, because I'll be contacting you soon.
There's a warning. I hear what you're saying about signage and the signage industry. It is something that is everywhere. Every business needs signage. Every person needs signage. So it's fantastic that we're supporting the awareness and the importance of our industry. Linda?
I'd like to go back on a couple of points that David has briefly mentioned, part of our discussion. And I think the key word is value. So yes, it's a value to our members as an association. Yes, it's about being of value to our external stakeholders. But ultimately, I think it's about us as a community, us as an industry, recognising our own value. And dare I be so bold to say, there are occasions, and I'm sure we're all guilty of this, not necessarily recognising us as a standalone industry and what that means for us as professionals and experts skilled within said industry, but equally what that looks like to the outside world. And with that in mind, some of the initial campaigns that David and I were working on when we first sort of embarked on this partnership was ultimately addressing what's our why. So that then leads into what's our value. So it's a multi-pronged approach, really. So why join the association? So there's a value stream there. But ultimately, there's value streams along multiple values about why we do what we do as an association, why we do what we do as professionals within said industry, and why we need to raise our own profiles and how we can best support one another to do that. So training and education is one of those, but with the value stream in mind, we're looking at being a champion of our industry and individual within. We're looking at our community. We're looking at compliance with regards to our technical work with the support of our colleague David Derbyshire. We're looking at collaboration, so we're looking at other trade associations, we're looking at other organisations who can best support us, and equally how we can be of support to them. One of those is regards to training. Now, training and education is an absolute minefield. Let's be brutally honest about that. And it's a huge undertaking, not just for us as an association, but us as an industry. Formal training and education doesn't necessarily exist as it does in other trades, in other industries. So where does one start with that? And we're incredibly fortunate that we have standalone organisations within our community that are able to provide training and education initiatives. But there's so much more that needs to be done. There's so much more that needs to be done with regards to our everyday, but ultimately our legacy and future-proofing our industry. So the work that David and I are doing with regards to behind the scenes, CSCS investigations, research and conversations that are taking place, the work that myself, David and other colleagues on the boards are doing with regards to trailblazing and currently the level 3 apprenticeship, but we're obviously embarking on investigative work with regards to a level 2. What can we do? What can we do now that will best support our mid to long-term strategies? And some of those initiatives are purely about bringing about what our members are doing, highlighting initiatives, campaigns, workshops, webinars, so on and so forth, that we can stand by, we can champion, and we can raise the profile of, because we are looking to work collectively, not just in isolation as an association.
Craig, we've talked a lot about, as an association, you do a lot of work, you're doing some great things for the industry, but you also do need the industry to take part in this. It's not a one-way street, is it?
And I think that's part of where we're coming with this collaboration. Some of the collaboration that Linda has mentioned with other trade associations in previous years gone by, we wouldn't have actually even engaged in conversation, but there's collateral that we can all use and actually help each other with. And that collaboration is extended to things like the trade shows. The fact is that we'll all be there, we'll all be supporting. We're looking to encourage people into the sector, not just youngsters, but people who might be looking for this as a trade that they want to come into. The association as a whole is always about looking at the welfare of the sector that we're actually in. But for us to do that, we have to involve the signage industry, the trade, the people who provide the signage, the supply chain, and the buyers. It's educating the buyers on what to expect. And again, David touched on that before. We don't just want to be about pounds, pennies. We want them to understand the thing they're investing in has an intrinsic value that actually represents the business they're actually in, and therefore the longevity that a true quality sign company can provide them, based around the budget that they might have, is based on fact and not just a gut feel.
So do you have a message for people to say, how do you get involved? What can you learn from being part of this association, and what you can expect to get from us and deliver to it?
Part of where my role, and I've always jokingly said this, both with my involvement with Science Express and the Trade Association, is we've become approachable. And that might sound a little bit blasé, but I think we've been viewed as we've just looked after our members or the big boys. Where we're coming back with this approachableness, if that's a word, the collaboration, is the fact that people can pick up the phone and ask a question. We're all running businesses. We all come across similar issues, but we don't necessarily know who to talk to about the issues that we're actually having. Often as not, the people who sit on the BSGA board are either business owners themselves or senior players within the supply chain. So they can bounce back, they can be used as a sounding board to help you through the process of producing the package, the signage. It might be the fact that you're having issues with staffing. It might be the fact that you're looking for someone to go on a modern apprenticeship. Who do I speak to? It's things that save people time, stop them going down blind alleys, and allow them to focus on creating something that actually has some contingent value to them as they move forward. So the association can be many things to many people, but what we're looking for is a quality delivery system that people can tap into. And for me, that's what we're now starting to see. We're our heads above the parapet. We're there to answer questions. And again, if we can't directly answer them, we can come back to them within a time frame it's acceptable for them to actually move on and make that decision.
So, Linda, we've been talking about the framework of the association and working with other associations, other organisations. Can you talk a little bit about why that's important and what that's going to mean going forward for the association?
We are greater than ourselves, as it were. As we're all very much aware, the sign industry is an incredibly diverse industry, and we, on occasion, we fall across the line into other trades, other industries. So why would we not be looking to work together for that, to best support us as a standalone industry, but equally to best support, educate, inform others who we work alongside? And it is about, it's a term that I use far too often, but it is also about sweating our assets and sweating our resources and supporting others to do so as well. If we are able to work alongside another trade association or an organisation that perhaps wouldn't ordinarily be considered part of the sign industry, but that can be of value to us and that can be of value to our members, then why would we not? We're certainly not a closed shop. And I think that's something that we as an association are very much communicating, certainly in the last 9 to 10 months. And equally, that's almost what we want to be role modelling to others within our industry, to say we can't be a closed shop, and we certainly shouldn't be. There is strength in collaboration, and that's how we raise awareness for who we are, but that's how we raise awareness with other industries, with other individuals that do have that impact on what we do. But equally, that's how we bring others back into the fold as well. So ultimately, it's working on education, it's working on training, it's working on that communication, it's being visible and it's being accessible. So absolutely, why would we not want to work in collaboration?
And so, in terms of the value that companies get from working as part of the association, what are we bringing to the party there?
I'm almost going to throw this back round the other way. I tend to find that the companies, both sign companies and supply chains, who get involved and bring something to the party to share are the ones that get the most out of it, because they're bringing things in that might educate us. And I think we've got this real kind of fine balance that we're getting about right, where they're not selling a product to our members, they're educating them about the best processes they can use, and actually the product they're showing is something that will actually help them. It is the fact that you have this collaboration and the ability to talk to people about things that you're about to use or the process you're about to go through that would stop you maybe using an incorrect process or material. It's a real fine balance. People get slightly different things out of it, but virtually everybody you speak to who's involved gets the benefit.
I guess it's about having a healthy industry, isn't it? And you're helping to increase the health and maintain and build the health of the industry. And I think we touched on a little bit earlier when we were talking about the training and development within the industry. That's a vital part of it. Can you explain a little bit more about what we're doing there?
We're working as part of the Trailblazing group with regards to the current level 3 technical apprenticeship that's in place. That's been in existence now for approximately 36 plus months. So we're now going through a period of review with that. What's the take up been? How successful has that been? Is that serving the original purpose and objectives that we set out that it hopefully would? What do we need to build upon that? So what's working well, what's not working well? With that in mind, we're working with employers within the industry, we're working with education providers also within the industry to go, okay, what do we need to be doing and what does that look like to add to and enhance this initial run on our ladder? Education and training is also taking place with regards to, like Craig briefly mentioned earlier on, with the fact that we are attending trade shows, trade exhibitions and conferences and events that our members are putting on to be able to share best practice, to be able to inform, to be able to perhaps elevate some of those resources that people may not be aware that are on offer as part of the trade association. But also, like I say, I think the key word there is best practice. So we're looking to bring together those voices and to bring together a common language and a vocabulary with regards to this is what we as a collective, not just the association, but we as a collective and industry should be working towards to achieving. Myself, David Allen and our other colleagues on the board of directors are also working incredibly hard behind the scenes to address the current CSCS issue that our industry is facing. That in itself is challenging, so I certainly watch this space, but if anybody is interested to find out a little bit more about that or would like to be part of how we resolve said situation, then please do get in touch, because this is a group effort that is required.
If I'm a small to mid-sized sign company, I may be looking to take on an apprentice or younger new employees, or I would like to increase the knowledge and understanding and training of the staff I have. I mean, where do I start with this? Do I sort of maybe pick up the phone to you? Is there information I can collect from the website? How would I go about doing that?
Absolutely. In the very first instance, if people are able to pick up the telephone and to reach out to the association, I'd highly recommend that, to be able to have a conversation. What we're looking at is bespoke support, I guess, more than anything else. And it certainly isn't one size fits all. So depending on the size of the organisation, depending on the products and service portfolio that they offer, what are they actually looking for a said individual or for a collective of individuals? The best thing to do in any situation is have a conversation. Pick up the telephone or send us an email so we can then take it on to have a discussion. And if we ourselves are unable to best support, then we will by far be able to signpost to who we believe will be able to provide the answers that they are requiring.
Excellent. I think that's critical, isn't it? That this is a big industry. It's a large industry with a lot going on, but as an association, we're personable. You can approach us, you can come to us, you can ask questions. And if we don't have the answers, you've got working with other people that can to take it on and move you on to the next level.
I think Linda's a little bit hiding her light under the bushel, because that she's an endpoint assessor. We have 2 members of the board that are endpoint assessors, so they understand the real world issues that are coming up for the apprentices that are actually going through. So you can have an honest conversation with the company owner about what they should expect, and more importantly, what they should be doing for their member of staff to get the most out of the apprenticeship. And I think that's a huge thing that we all miss. The fact you've got someone doing it and they can say, well, this is what you need to do if you want to get the most out of it. It isn't just for you to expect the college or your student to do it. And again, it's an opportunity that we haven't had in the past, and we have now. So we should be shouting about it from the rooftops.
Excellent. I think to finish off, David, if we could, you have committed to another 2 years. Congratulations to that. What is it you would like to see and achieve during your coming tenure?
Well, obviously, we've talked about it a lot, but I think to get something done in relation to the CSCS cards, to be able to put the association in the centre of that, we've not been in that position before. So to get that so that the association is in control of it, then that means the industry, our trade, is in control of it. We're not being dictated to by somebody else. So that, I think, for me, would be the number one aim. But I think to make the association completely relevant to the trade, I think for us to get into the position where we're the recognised authority on the trade, so people aren't looking, we're the regulator for the trade, and I think we do that. I think we'd set fair for quite a few years ahead, and if I can play my small part in that and hopefully get that in train, I think I'll finish my next 2 years off a happy chap.
Excellent. That's a great way to finish. Thanks very much for all your time.